This is how we save up to 50% on the cost of our chicken feed. Watch along and we'll show you how and why we do it. Before we started this technique, these are the pellets we used to feed our chickens with. It's layered pellets, it's factory made, and we buy sacks at a time, and it's 475 baht per sack, so it's very expensive. And we typically feed a sack a day. As you can calculate, it adds up. A sack a day, 7 days a week, 7 sacks at 400, almost 500 baht. It's a lot of money. We're always looking at methods on how to reduce costs. So watch along and we'll show you how to turn this tub into double the amount. The method today is fermenting. We're trying to ferment our food now for several reasons. There's beneficial bacteria, extra nutrients, it makes the eggshells thicker, more productive, more easy for the chickens to digest, and hopefully healthier and happier chickens. Here in this bucket we have made one earlier. This is about a day and a half old. What we've done is we've put the chicken feed in here. So we put a few scoops of chicken feed, a little bit of corn. As you can see, there's corn granules everywhere. A small bag of rice bran. You can't put too much rice bran in, it'll stop egg production. So we put a small bag in there in the mixture just to thicken it out a bit, and then pour water over the top, and then just leave it to ferment. We suggest, between 24 hours and 48 hours. That's the best to start off with. Some people do it for 3 days, but we're doing it for about 2 days fermentation. So 2-3 days is good, I think. If you smell it, it smells a bit like fermented cabbage or any fermented vegetables that you've ever had. It smells a bit like that. To keep a constant supply of feed, you're going to need 3 tubs. Obviously each tub per day. So you fill one tub up, leave it for a day. You fill the second tub up, leave it for another day, and then so on, so on. When it comes to the 3rd day, you've got the original tub to feed, and then you refill it after you've fed. And then you've always got a constant supply of feed. But yeah, so we have 3 tubs here, and I'll show you how we make one. We'll start off with this tub for today. I'll be doing it throughout the next 3 days. Obviously these 2 tubs, I'll be doing it tomorrow and the day after. But yeah, we'll start off with this tub. What you're gonna need is a tub, obviously. Also have a lid for the tub. And I'm gonna put 2 scoops of feed in this tub. As you can see, it comes up to here, not very high. What I'm gonna do now is add a little bit of corn. This is cracked corn that you can buy. I don't know in your country where you get it from, but we just buy it from our local chicken supplier. Cracked corn granules or whatever they call it. I just pour a bit in. And then we buy these little 10 baht rice bran. It's only a small amount, as you can see. I just pour it all in. And then finally, what I've got here is a bit of crushed shells. So I don't know what type of shells. I believe it's oyster shells. So we buy small bags at a time. And this is just to help with the calcium, to help egg production. So the chickens need calcium, quite a bit of calcium to produce eggs. So you got to make sure the calcium is topped up. So just pour it in there with every mixture. Just make sure they get their fair share of calcium. So that'll do. That's it, that's our mixture. What we do now is we get some water. So this water can't be tap water. If you're living in the West, your tap water is going to be chlorinated. It's terrible for chickens. Obviously our water comes from the ground, or we have rainwater or pond water. So our water comes from the ground, but if you do have tap water, just leave it in a bucket for 24 hours. Chlorine will evaporate from the water, but you don't use it straight out the tap if you have chlorinated water. So what we're going to do now, pour it in to the bucket. You're going to need a healthy amount of water in here. It needs to cover the top of the mixture. That'll do. Now I've got my trusty bamboo stick. What I'm going to do is give this a good stir. As you can see, it's bubbling away. It's just releasing all the air trapped inside. So just give it a good old mix. As you can see, we've got the corn in there, got the rice bran, and also the mixture. Make sure you mix it well. Like I said before, you need to make sure the water's on top of the mixture. If not, if the mixture is poking out the water, you could be getting mold in 1 or 2 days. Obviously, it's deadly for the chickens. You don't want mold in your mixture. That's where a lot of people go wrong. They're not putting enough water in, and it's not properly fermenting, where it's just building mold on the top. You need to make sure it's covered with water. Like I see here, it's just enough water, but I'm just going to add a bit more just for safety, because this will expand overnight. So just add a bit more water. Once it settles, the water will just sit on top, and this will stop the mold from developing. It's really that simple. So what you do now, after you gave it a good mix, just get your lid and just put it on top. Now you just leave that to bubble for 2 or 3 days. We're going to do a couple of days, I think, maybe 3. So we've got 3 buckets. But yeah, you just leave that maybe once a day. Just give it a good stir. Make sure, you know, you're not going to get mold just storing up at the top. Like I said, it's bad for the chickens. If you pan down here, how the mix is in, it's up to half a bucket almost. So once this expands, it'll probably come up to about 3/4 or maybe even near full. So from the start, our mixture only came up to about here, and then it'll rise up to about here in 2 or 3 days. So we, you know, that's at least 50% more feed. It's thicker feed. It's easy for them to digest. Fermentation is good for them as well because it adds extra nutrients. I believe it adds the B vitamins, which is good for the chickens. But this is how we're doing it now. Like I say, I've got this one for them today. Well, we gave him one today, so this might be for tomorrow. You can see this one's just bubbling away now. Now some people drain it before they give it to the chickens, but typically we don't drain it. You know, we've got nice big flat dishes, and we just put a scoop, just plonk it on the dish, and just place them around the chicken hut, and the chickens love it. They swarm around it and they clear it up, no problem. You think it'd be messy, but it's not that messy. But also another advantage as well, while I'm just waffling away, this method, because when we're giving the dry pellets, what tends to happen is all this powdery stuff, if you come in close, so you get all this powdery stuff that goes to waste. That's quite a large percentage. When you're trying to save cost and you're trying to make it a business, that's a large waste. But when you mix it with the water, it becomes a clump, so the chickens can still peck at it, and it's not so much of a waste, if any at all. Yeah, that's another reason why we're doing it. It just saves the mixture. Whereas we're feeding 1 bag, we probably have to feed 1 bag every 2 days now, whereas before it's just 1 bag per day. Plus, you know, chopped up hyacinth or chopped up banana stems, banana leaves, and vegetables and leftovers that we have. Yeah, we feed them this in the morning. In the afternoon, we'll come out, we'll chop some hyacinth and banana leaves, treat them with that, maybe buy them some fruit, watermelon or whatever, and then we'll give them another one at night. We're feeding 2 of these buckets a day. Obviously we've got 5 buckets on the go now. We'll probably add some more later down the line maybe. But that's the aim. Morning and evening feed on the fermented food. But we've been doing it for the past day or 2 now, and we've already noticed an increase in the eggs. And the size of the eggs, that's another benefit while I'm talking. The size of the eggs are bigger, the shells are thicker, and the weight is heavier. Plenty of benefits. I don't know what you know about it. We're learning as we go along as well. You've been doing a bit of research, and this is how people have been doing it, and they found success. So we thought we'd give it a go. Been 2 or 3 days into it, and we've noticed improvements in the eggs. Yeah, we'll see how we get on. We might do another video to update later down the line, and we'll show you, exactly how we get on, and give us an honest opinion on this method. But if you keep chickens, I would highly suggest give this method a go. Fermenting your food, like I say, make sure no mold, or make sure you don't use chlorinated water, and you'll be fine. We'll go give some more to the chickens and we'll take you along to show you how they like it. Okay, so we're just gonna give a bit to the chickens now. We gave them a bit earlier, but for the sake of the video, I'll do it again. We've got these flat red trays here, nice and big. A lot of chickens can get round it and it holds the mixture pretty well. As you can see, you know, it's quite a gloopy mixture. Just plonk it on. Say some people strain it, but we don't bother. The chickens clear it up pretty well. Just put a few, just fill up the tray. That's one. That's two. Right, let's go and put this in the chicken hut. Come on. They already know. So literally I just plonk it on the floor and they'll go mad for it. But they'll clear it up, no problem. There's no waste, no dirt. It's not on the floor, messy everywhere. They love it, they love it. So we'll place this other tray further away, just spread them out a little bit. There they go. The chickens prefer the fermented taste. I read somewhere that the birds usually prefer a fermented taste in the food. And, you know, they've not been put off it. As you can see, they're pecking fine. If I was to put a scoop of the old feed, just the pellets, into the trough, it'd be gone in seconds. They swarm around it and it'd be gone. And they don't seem full or anything. But doing it like this, they seem fuller for longer. So they seem, you know, they walk around and they're a lot happier for a lot longer. I feel like it fills them up more, it's more nutritious for them, the eggs are bigger, the shells are thicker, and it saves us up to 50% cost, as you can see. Yeah, I highly suggest it, but we'll end the video here anyway. I've been waffling for far too long now, so leave in the comments what you think, if you have any experience of using the fermented method. But so far so good for us, you know, we like the idea of saving costs up to 50%. Like we say, we do add other things in to supplement their calcium. We add the corn in and we give them treats and stuff every now and then as well. We'll leave the video there. Leave in the comments if you've enjoyed the video. Any questions, make sure you leave it in the comments. Like, subscribe, do the usual jazz, and we'll see you on the next one.